Hi guys, right, we are ready to start now. So welcome to Abavus's webinar on automating digital green garden waste solution. So I'm Mark Eves, I am the solution architect for Abavus. Been working here for a number of years now, and my focus has really been for the last 6 years working on green garden solutions, how we can achieve them, how we can make them better, how we can automate, and how we can maximize the number of customers you have, thus maximizing the number of revenue you can generate. So I'm going to cover a bit of housekeeping first of all. I'm going to go through a few minutes about who we are and what we do. Going to mention about some of the challenges that we've faced over the years and how we've responded to them. I'm going to do a complete end-to-end demo of the customer signing up to receive garden waste subscription. We're going to discuss about direct debits, about contract management, and some of the bells and whistles that we can show you as to what the platform can do to really make garden waste collection simple and very easy. So the session is being recorded. Should you want a copy of that, we can send this out afterwards so you can disseminate to your colleagues. We will send out all of these slides that you can currently see, and we will send out a recording of the demo as well, so you can have this to browse later on. So if you do drop off, do not worry, you can catch up later on. Can you ask questions? Yes. On the right-hand side of your GoToWebinar plugin, you'll see a little section there that says questions. If you just type on there, either I will pick it up or a colleague will read them out towards the end, and I'm more than happy to ask as we go. So please fire away. So My Council Services came to life about 2011. The company's been established since 2007. So we've got a good, 10 plus years experience in working in local government. Biggest focus area for us is local government, specializing in waste, public protection, regulations, and contact center management. Those are our key areas of expertise. Everyone who works for us has worked for the council in some guise or shape or form. So we only employ industry experts. No one here is kind of fresh out off the boat from a different area. So we know what we're talking about. Everything we do is very flexible. There isn't one solution that we say this is the right way that we recommend. Every council has a different approach to what they do, and our platform meets their requirements. We've got around 18 million customers regularly using the platform, and to date we have 50 plus enterprise customers using the solution. Some of our sample councils, a bit of a breadth and depth there really. If there's one of those councils that is near you, feel free to contact them or contact us and we can give you a contact name to speak to directly. So garden waste management, there's lots of challenges to it, and where we've been in the market now for quite a while, we pretty much have seen all the challenges you will face. So garden waste is very resource intensive. You open up a period during the year and then you get 10 to 20 to 30,000 people subscribing, taking the money, setting up the contract, posting out literature, stickers, sending out the bins, ensuring you start on the right date that you receive the money. All this takes a lot of effort and a lot of human resources goes into making sure the process goes well. It's very unautomated at the moment. When we speak to new customers, it's very much, someone has to press a button, someone has to do this, someone has to do that. If there's any failures, we have to phone back the customer. So there's no real automation we've seen in joining customers. Revenue collection is, one of the big reasons why councils do this, need to remain revenue neutral, but there's no point in spending more money managing and running this service than you are generating revenue to actually do the service. So a lot of challenges we see around that. Rigid collections, so when you tell a customer you're going to be delivering or picking up your bin on that certain day, there's a lot of rigidity to that process. You have to on a certain day, the driver has to know where to go, the route doesn't necessarily offer the most effective route management, changes to the bin collection, someone may not put out their bin. So it's a lot more challenging than a normal domestic collection where week on week where you've got to go and what you've got to do. And then back of this as well, the analytics that we find there isn't really much analytics that the customer can face, that you guys can face when you're managing your collections. So the ability to report, understand how well it's going, how bad it's going, number of missed bins, number of missed containers, that's one of the focuses we need to go through today. So our response to garden waste automation, customer to crew. So the customer does all the hard work, and then the only input the council will have to present themselves is the crew going out and collecting it. That's it. There's no middle office, middle function that needs to get involved. Very easily configure our platform. Like I've said, not a single customer uses this in a singular way. It's all very, very different, and that is achieved by configuration. So each council will configure the way they want the platform to work for them. Payment integration, we obviously need to take payments, whether that's via a one-off card payment for paying up front for a year, or paying for an additional bin, or if it's a monthly direct debit solution as well. So your payment choice we can implement. We've integrated into every single payment integration that every UK council uses, so they're not a difficult thing for us to do. Very quick, very easy. We've integrated into a number of direct debit solutions, so they're very good for us to do as well. Year on year, the customer hasn't got to do anything. You press a button, it automates and renews their contract for the next year, takes the money, and then schedules the collection of the green garden waste with the crew. And our final kind of response really is we're very affordable, very competitively priced. We like to think you'll be cost neutral within a year of deploying our solution. So effectively, there isn't going to be a cost to you, because the savings we offer in efficiency and speediness of rolling out this solution cover the payments for the year for us. So there's two models we operate. It's not that we think these are the two models we think you should go for, but typically with our customer base, they will either have an in-house waste solution where we offer the front end, the customer fills out a form, takes a payment, and then we then ship the bin to the customer. We then schedule when they're going to do it. We then send the crew out with our InCab device. The crew then collects it, marks off and says, yep, we've got that, thank you. We then tell the customer we've collected it at 10 a.m. this morning. That's our customer to crew solution, end to end. That's where a council manages the waste solution themselves. If you've got an outsourced waste provider, so you act as the front of house administrator, so you allow customers to come on to sign up, you take the payment, and then at the end of the day, you then instruct a third-party waste provider to go and collect your rubbish. We can do the integration for you. We've got a number of customers that do this, and it just offers a seamless interface to your customers, and then a seamless transition from that data on our system to the data on your outsourced supplier system. Over the years, we've worked with Amy, Veolia, Suez, and Biffa. We've got a number of customers for each of these sites, which will be referenceable if you're interested chatting to them, with off-the-shelf plugins for those four suppliers. And some of those suppliers do use different third-party systems as well. So we've off-the-shelf accelerators. So if you wanted to go live with a waste solution, realistically, with our accelerator packs, we should be up and running with 4 to 6 weeks. So that's enough about us. Hopefully I've given you a little bit of background information, what we do, how we do it. Let's jump into a demo now straight away. Let's show you what we can achieve with our current solution. So I'm going to change my screen. So I've logged into our customer portal. Hopefully it hasn't timed out because we've been talking too long. So I've logged in. This is just one of the custom portals that we offer. There's a number of options you can do if you want this or you don't want this, or if you want to change it or configure it, entirely up to you. So on the left-hand side, I'm just going to drill down to garden waste, and then I'm going to go to sign up. So just some, custom information as to what we want to explain to the customer. All these are very configurable. You can say what you want, delete, add more, change the view, change the menu, change the design, make the look and feel matched like your own website. Very, very customizable options. First thing I'm doing is going to select an address. So I'm going to do E18 to HZ. So by searching for the postcode, it drills down and will search the NLPG. Because of who I am, I've logged in, it's already defaulted some of my information into the fields. Then I'm going to select the number of containers that I'd like. So typically most customers want just a container, but where they've got bigger gardens or even shared complexes, they may want more than one. So they select the product they'd like. So they can have a small bin or a standard bin. They then select the quantity, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they select 1, it's £40. If they select 2, it's £80, and so forth. Depending upon how you've got your implementation set up, we can configure this to match that. So when I'm happy with that, I click done. I then continue. And because it knows who I am again, based upon the address I've entered, it defaults all my information in. I'm happy with that. Continue. Click here to make a payment. And then it's just an example of one of the payment gateways we've done. It passes through the £80. I'm populating my card details. Payment gets processed, the agreement happens behind the scenes, and then it redirects back to our process. And effectively now, payment's been accepted, everyone's happy, we can submit the request, and the customer has signed up to the garden waste. So that's an immediate payment. Should they wanted to sign up to a direct debit, it's the exact same method. We just select direct debit, and then we could click to continue. So that's the customer point of view. Very simple, very easy. That's the method we really try to advocate. Also got to mention that this web page, although it's a web page, it's 100% responsive on your phone. 80% of our customers use our web-based technology via their mobile phone. So I'm showing you on a laptop because it's easier, but reality is more people use their mobile phone. And we also offer a native app as well. So should you want a green garden waste app, you can supply that to your customer and they can manage and check all those sort of things. So the other thing I want to show now is if the customer was unable to complete this via the web, and for some reason they decided to phone you guys up and wanted to manage it more as a assisted service, I'm going to log in now to the back office. So select the same environment. So this is all the information that comes through, and I can see straight away garden waste sign up today, the current status is open, who the customer was, the dates and the times, everything else is assigned here. So this is my service request number. From here, I can then integrate that into any third-party system and enable your outsourced contractor to collect the rubbish. If I do it myself, straight away, as the platform has submitted this, it has created a contract already. So this is the contract, this is the start date, this is the end date. So you can see it started on the August 16th. That's the legal amount of time we have to offer this collection. And then it jumps to August 2022. So this now is on a round, and the very next day to collect this rubbish, this will be done and dusted. So I've done nothing at all. The system has set it all up completely. There's nothing for a middle office person to do in the slightest. It's entirely the customer does all the work, and then the next person to do the work is the refuge crew, and they go out to collect the rubbish. So if I was unable to do this process online, I would have to phone up the council. So same thing again, I phone up the council, I click on the garden waste subscription, the same thing again. So I can search for a customer, I can create a brand new customer. If I say myself, I can see the same forms the customer saw is the exact same forms that I see. So there's no difference in the process. The same rules, the same conditions all apply. So it's one form presented in two different ways. Same method again, select the address, number of containers, again as well. So just slightly different view, but what we're trying to advocate is here, once you've created one view, it's available to you, the customer, to the mobile, to the web, and to any other method that you want to present. So that really is it from a demo point of view. It's that simple. There are a couple of other areas as well. So we do offer the same form if you want to renew your your service. So if you're not doing direct debits, every year you notify the customers, come and please renew. The customer will come on and renew the product themselves. During that process, they can amend their contract. So they might want to say, I want to go from 2 bins to 3 bins. We've got processes to handle that, to handle the payment. I want to go from 3 bins to 2 bins. We've got processes where it enables you to give a refund to the customer if it's mid-contract, or to bill halfway through. We've got customers that do rolling contracts. So whenever the customer signs up, that's the start of their contract date. We've got other customers that say, well, I only want to offer this service April the 1st going through to the next year. So it's entirely up to you how you do it. We've got customers that have price fluctuations halfway through the year, so we manage those changes as well. So it's all very well saying we want it all online, but there's quite a lot of nuances where you do need someone to get involved. We've also gone down to that level of automation as well to ensure the customer can manage their own account without getting you guys involved. Let me jump back to my presentation. So some of the bits I want to make sure I cover. So we've covered the submission of the waste. We logged into the customer portal. We selected the collection. We added the items we'd like to, the number of containers we'd like to continue with. We've taken payment. We've completed. And the exact same thing again for the contact center. The same process, just different permutation of how you'd like to log on. So one of the other services we think is really important, if a customer's paying for a service, in their eyes, they deem this as a premium feature. Give me 1 second to make sure my screen is showing. They deem this as a premium feature. So one thing is handy and good for you guys to do is to notify customers that tomorrow is their bin day. So you can send them a text message the night before that says, do not forget to put your bin out. The same thing can happen if a collection is not due, is due for that day, but you're unable to get down the road for whatever reason. You're able to click the button, you can push out a broadcast message to all your customers saying, sorry, there's no bin collection today. We will come back next Monday, or we will come back tomorrow. That's up to you how you do that, but it's a very good way of communicating to a customer and adding value to what they perceive as a premium subscription. Calendar views as well. The customer also has access to a Know My Bin Day, so they can go onto your webpage. They can see when the next collection is. They can either press a button and print a yearly calendar. They can see when their next collection is from today's date onwards. And then the other thing they can do is they can click Add to Cal. So what it would do is add a calendar invite on their mobile phone, either Android or Google. So every week or every 2 weeks or every quarterly period, they can see exactly when their collections are due. They'll get a notification on their phone directly saying put out their bin tonight. So that's quite a popular option, and probably more people do that over the SMS feature. So this is a Green Garden waste contract. So this is a little bit more techy, a little bit more into it, but from a contract, you can see who the customer is, who the location is where you need to provide it. You can see the previous transaction that was taken, and you can see the dates from and to. So this is the next level down. So even though it's a bit more complicated with a contractual statement behind it, it's still very easy for you guys to manage and understand what to do. And then when we go on to the schedules, we and you guys can see exactly how many containers you have, how many crews you need for them. So the input of you asking all your customers for this information is the ability for you to slice and dice that round information and understand how many collections you have per round. InCab advice we've briefly mentioned. So a long time ago, we kind of saw a bit of a gap in the market where there wasn't a true integration and an advanced solution where you could take any old mobile device, you could bring it into your cab, plug it in, tap 3 or 4 times, and then you have all of your information downloaded and connected. So we've worked hard with a number of customers, and we now have a fully fledged InCab solution. Works offline, it synchronizes all the data with our back office platform. After that, the crew can go offline if required, collect all the rubbish, and as soon as there is a GPS or a Wi-Fi signal, it uploads all the information again to the platform. If there is a real-time connection, it will upload as they go. So if a crew drives down a road and says, yep, I've collected the bin, as As soon as they've collected it, you can send a notification to the customer saying it's been collected. So the way they do this, the crew gets in their vehicle in the morning, they select the dates they want to collect the rubbish for, they select the type of collection, they select the round they're doing. So in this case, I'm going to select household waste. I select the round, I select the day, I put in the date, and then within 30 seconds, it will download up to 2,000 properties for you to manage. Once you've downloaded the information, start the vehicle and then continue your collection. As you come up to each of the different items, you can see a very nice screen as to what you need to do for each property. So as soon as you get to the item, it ticks it off and says, yep, you've been to that property. If an assisted collection is required, it's got a little hand there, and it tells you then you need to get out and collect the rubbish from the property rather from the curbside. It tells you how many bins to collect. So it can be quite difficult managing stickers. A lot of our customers do use that method, but obviously there's a whole ecosystem in producing the stickers, sending them out, replacing them, customers being cheeky, putting them on 2 bins, photocopying, all those sort of things. So if we can tell the driver how many bins they can collect, so by default it's going to be 1, but where there's more than 1, the driver can then mention to the team, make sure you collect 2 on that one. Oh, I can see there's 2 out, don't collect 2, only collect 1. You also have property notes, street notes, and collection notes. So the 2, 3 notes in the middle there, depending if they're third-party information, that will be presented to the driver as he's going past the vehicle. So this is our waste solution. This is what the customer sees in the cab. So as they're driving, on the left-hand side, they can see exactly what they've got to collect. You can see as I go past a particular property, it marks it off green. And if there's a street note, I can see it's marked red. So as I drive down, it automatically pushes the information up. So you can see next street, Somerton Road, major shops, churches, areas, pedestrian crossing, drive through carefully. So that information is presented to the driver in a real-time way. So it's all very well you guys going out and doing this work, but the bit you really want to achieve off this is the analytics. So you can look at one of our many kind of portal analytical screens. In this example, it just shows all the collections on a particular round. So there's 2 different rounds here that we can see. And then we can also see when they're due, when they're not due, what the outcome was. So collected, not collected, contaminated, bin not out, all that information can be stored and presented onto the platform as we drill down. And if I continue further, we can then drill down and then we can see the outcomes. So on the left-hand side with the yellow pie chart, you can see the percentage that were open, which means you haven't marked them off as closed yet, but there was no issue there. You can see the methods that are collected. So there's the ones that you've gone past, and not presented the ones where the bin wasn't available or it wasn't in a state you could get access to it. Any of these items you can click down and drill. I think the analytics I'm showing you now really proves a good point. You can't ascertain where customers are going to require a collection. It'd be nice if all down the same street they all said, yep, I'd like my collection today, but the likelihood your collection is going to be sparse. So our optimization engine is very key here, because where you've got a 6-ton truck and garden waste is heavy, it's not so much like recycling and the domestics. People fill their bins to the absolute brim of it. It's mud, so it's a heavy truck, so the vehicle has to be emptied more often as well. So optimization of a route is really critical where you have disparate properties to be collected. Integration, like we've mentioned before, we can integrate into any payment gateway. We can integrate into any of your third-party web services. So should you have any web services that you need to offer whilst a customer is filling out a form, we can link and drill down to those internally on your system. Those are classed as real-time integrations. We can link to Capita, Civica, WellPay. Those are just a few to mention. There's probably about 10 that we offer. GovPay is another big one that we're starting to really see take off now. Once a driver decides, right, I'm going to start my shift now, as soon as they get out of the vehicle, they're encouraged to a vehicle check. So with our platform, before they press go on starting their collection, it will say, have you completed your vehicle check? If they haven't, they tick yes, and it takes them through the details of their vehicle, and they can mark off, yep, windscreen's fine, wheels are fine, oil pressure is fine, brake lights are fine. They can cross all of these things off. That data gets stored against that vehicle itself in our platform. That vehicle is what we also use to work out how we do the routing. So that vehicle will have a maximum volume, a maximum speed, it will have a height or weight. So when we do our optimization, we take this data and we ensure that the vehicle doesn't go down roads it legally can't go down or physically will get stuck. So that was a very quick whistle-stop tour of our platform. If you guys are interested in seeing more, please feel free to contact us. If there's any questions that you've got, feel free to fire them via the WebEx very quickly now, or to fire them to us via email via the following position. I hope you benefited from that. I'm glad you guys have joined. If there's more information, please feel free to get in contact. Thanks a lot, Mark.